Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Wednesday's Talking Town. I am, of course, your host, the Gov. Looking forward to the next. Well, let's just see where we go, shall we? Obviously, we're back live on Friday, 8:30, with the two. They like to call themselves box office members of Talking Town, but they are certainly two of our headliners, if you like, the Cruncher and the Media Mogul. The Hard Truth. Where have I been? Says Ashley. Ashley, I've been to Tesco's. I have a rumbling appendix and I'm in some slight discomfort. So I've been to Tesco's just to check out their medicine cabinet, and I've returned with Voltarol. Not that it's actually going to cure my rumbling appendix, but it certainly will help my back, I hope. But there we go. I'm sorry I'm late. I do apologise. Do forgive me, but I'm live with you across the world, across the globe. Perhaps even the universe, because I'm sure the aliens, if there are any, are Ipswich Town fans. So, Burton on the horizon. What are we making of live as a Town fan? There was some championship. Am I foreshadowing there? Am I foretelling? There were some League One games last night, of which we will look at the results. Cruncher, he loves a headline. He thinks he's the headline. He certainly does. Let's get some comments. Emma's Feather. Big Fred will start one of the next two. Sean. Got to be four. Got to be at 4:15. Might catch the replay. I guess more of this. Josh, he's got to come at the game. Phil Blundell. Lots of comments between themselves because they were clearly waiting for myself to start. I do apologise. I'm going to get the League One table. We can go through just what happened in the division last night. I don't know if you've seen it. Obviously, Peterborough played Charlton, I believe. It ended in a 0-0 draw. Fists were thrown, or were they thrown? I do not know. Man was sent off. That I do know. If you do, if you've seen it, the incident I'm referring to, do let me know in the chat what you made of it. Should there have been more than one man sent off? Should there have been one apiece? Maybe. But here is your League One table following the games last night. I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger. Hold the jokes. Here we go. Wednesday still top, obviously. Us and Plymouth, nearest contenders to them. Bolton, they lost last night, so they've played two games more than us, 62, 1 point behind. Derby, 33-60. Barnsley on 31 on 59. So Barnsley got 2 games in hand on us and are 4 points behind. But it is starting to look a little bit like the top 6 is the top 6. You could argue maybe Wickham and Posh, and maybe even Shrewsbury, but with that extra game, maybe not. But would that be your top 6? Do you think it's going to change between now and the end of the season? Not asking you necessarily to pick out your top 6, 1 to 6, but certainly do let us know if you feel anybody might crash it, or is that now the top 6? Owen's watching with his the 3-year-old asleep next to him, battling chicken pox. Oh, Owen, I hope he gets well soon. My one hasn't had chicken pox yet. Do they still do chicken pox parties? I know when I was a kid we used to do chicken pox parties. I'm not quite sure. The Cruncher, the voice on all League One matters. It'll be fun. We get the championship, won't he? He says shambles of a decision, should have both gone. I'd like to know what Phil Blundell thinks of it, to be honest with you, Rich. Being our resident referee, what does he make of the decision? Right, let's get on with tonight's show. Here is our contributor for the year. Be upstanding for royalty, King Cally Bisler.
We took 8,000 to a roundabout.
We took 8,000 to a roundabout. Wasn't quite 8,000 this year, Cally, but let's address the conspiracy theories swirling around social media by nobody, I'll be honest, but I'll just create them anyway. Sam Morsey plays well. King Cally Bisler's on Talking Town. I mean, is there a correlation here, King? Is there a correlation?
I just answered the call. That's it.
So you're not here just because your boy, Mr. Morsey, showed out.
It just so happened our diaries just seemed to align, Martin. That was all it was.
That's what it was. Or you could say, did he know it was coming? So, he saved one of his best games in a couple of months just to give you that moment in the sun.
Well, that's it. Maybe Sammy thought, okay, midweek show, let's give the lads something to talk about. Drive forward, drive the show forward, and drive us up the league.
Absolutely. I mean, I've not asked you for a goal of the month because, we scored 4 against Forest Green, so there's quite a few goals to look at. But would Sam Morsey, do you think he'd be? I mean, I think that's probably my goal of the month if I had to choose one. I think it's a really nice little goal, reads the game, and a great finish. Would that be yours? I'm sure it would be.
I mean, yeah, like bias aside, it's a great goal. Like it's a Sam Morsey goal. That's Sam Morsey at his best. Like nicking the ball, winning it, right, driving forward, and he has got a shot on him. But I think the reason it feels a really good goal as well, aside from great finishing play, is the fact that it was back-to-back wins. It was an away win. It was points we needed. There was more around that on the goal. For me, it was either that or Broadhead's free kick. I just thought, perfect free kick in a time when the game you thought was over, and just before half time. We've always talked about now's a great time to score. It's a free kick. Oh, what we're going to do here? Hit the wall, and it is top bins. And that kind of announced, Nathan Broadhead at Portman Road. This is what he's about, or whatever. Here's your investment almost. But I think Broadhead probably just, if you're looking on just the goal itself, then, and in the context of one game, then probably Broadhead edges it over Sammy.
Yeah. Okay.
But then I think Sammy or John Jules have scored the goal of the season already. So either Sammy's
not John Jules at Shrewsbury.
Either that one or Sammy's goal against Forest Green. So,
I mean, Sammy on Forest Green.
John Jules' was brilliant. He tracks back, he wins the ball, and he just dinks past everyone. It's a phenomenal. It's a great goal.
Goal of the season? When you got Chapman's free kick at home against Barnsley?
Not better than Broadhead's free kick. So the best free kick for me is Broadhead's at the moment. Right.
Yeah, but
I don't know. Like I said, and then Sammy's at Forest Green. That was a great goal.
It was a good goal. I mean, I think I said at the time I think it hit his shin.
No. Do you know it was the deft control of shinterlaces. It's to the untrained eye, Martin. You won't pick it up, but
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Do you know what it was? It was a sunny day, wasn't it, up there, and everyone's getting a bit dehydrated and all the rest of it. So the sun probably took a bit of the angle, so you probably couldn't see it right. So.
Because we all know I was there. Before we go any further into tonight's show, do not forget we have the wonderful Colin Plum and his book that's out, available on Amazon at £7.97, I believe. Colin's written in the chat here. So, but do go to Amazon, check it out. And of course, we have the book launch night on the 30th of March. Get your tickets. We've already sold over 100, or sold. I mean, they're free to get, but over 100 already shifted out of the door. I reckon we can make that 200 people in attendance. I reckon we could try and make it a great, memorable night. Loads of guests. There's guests lined up, courtesy of Cruncher. The postman being hard at work again. But do support a Town fan in his passion, and it's a living history. It really is a living history of a man that has seen the town from a powerhouse to Paulhurst and where we are today. But yeah, do check it out on Amazon.
It's like I've only known Cole through this, and since we've been in League One, really, right? But you see him at the home games, you see him at the away games. He's passionate, he's singing there, he's chanting, he's got his flag with him, and he knows what it's like to be a supporter and not a spectator. He knows what it's like to back the team and to try and be that 12th man. So it'll be interesting read. Like, I'm always listening to the older generation of people who have seen that and seen us win those trophies. Like you and I, Martin, we're a similar age. The only thing we've seen is Wembley in 2000, right? And it was great. Don't get me wrong, but we haven't seen FA Cups. We ain't seen titles. We ain't seen promotions.
Sadly
you know
not,
what I mean?
No.
So hopefully this season we'll see a promotion. So.
That is the aim of the game. That is the dream. You're right. You're absolutely spot on what you're saying. Great words. Stephen Parry says, of course, Brett Johnson supporting the book. We've seen pictures of Brett Johnson with the book, one of the owners of the football club. ITFC should live stream the book. Says Lewis O'Connor. Love to see that as well. But yeah, get involved, guys and girls. Let's support the GOAT in what he does. 25.
Right in thinking that everything just goes to charity anyway.
2 charities, absolutely. Yeah, Colin's in the chat, so he can write down exactly how that's going to work. But yeah, Colin, do write that in the chat for me, Colin. I'll put it on the screen. People at home can obviously see it. Owen says Josh Emmanuel looking good tonight for Grimsby at Southampton.
He's
Josh
had a good
Emmanuel.
comeback. Thing is, people will see that and they'll see the name. It's like, hold on, he was at Hull and now he's at Grimsby. Like, what the hell happened? He fell off.
What did happen?
Well, from what I understand, there was obviously injury and then an illness, like an off-field illness.
Oh, okay.
Non-football related. Obviously, I don't think he's made too many things public, but it didn't look like he'd ever play football again. So he's come back and he's kind of restarted his career. So who knows, man? Hopefully, if he can kick on, he certainly, he was unfortunate in a time where, like, if he was here now at Ipswich under McKenna, he'd probably thrive like a young academy player coming through, youngster getting forward. Just the right player for the wrong manager. So he did well at Hull. So we'll see. So best of luck to him, really.
He did well while he was here. In the occasional opportunities he was given. Disappointed to see him go when he did. But yeah, absolutely looking good according to Owen. Colin, thank you very much. The Heart Foundation and Cancer Research 50-50 split. As I say, right down the middle, bish bash bosh.
Every time I see Heart Foundation, I just think Bret Hart.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I said. Yeah. Exactly what I said. Yeah, you hear the whole.
Met him in Manchester once on one of these little meet and greet things.
What, Bret Hart?
Yeah, I'll send you the picture later, but yeah.
Yeah, man.
He's talking about the screw job and everything. I know we're digressing, but for WWF fans, that was a very interesting
big moment in history. Absolutely. 25,000 fans or thereabouts heading to Burton well, not heading to Burton. They'll be in the wrong place. Heading to Portman Road for Burton on Saturday. Another big following, Callie, off the back of a big following away from home. Just big town FC, are we?
We have no doubt a large set of fans and a big fan base and a dedicated fan base. Fans are split between spectators and supporters.
I don't know. You said that on Sunday, and I disagreed. Then I don't know.
That's fair.
2023, man. You can be anywhere in the world.
I'm not. No. I haven't said you can't be a spectator or a supporter.
What's the difference?
For me,
to you.
To me, okay. So to me, a spectator is just that you are there to spectate the game. I might cheer in the odd, if we celebrate a goal.
So our North Stand.
Behave. For the majority of the time, and it doesn't come with, it doesn't matter whether you're sitting or standing. Like that's neither here nor there. It just so happens that generally the people that are singing and chanting all the time are generally the ones standing all the time, right? You can do that while you're sitting down. Support, what I'm saying with that, and I know I get fucking like loads of people running it in the chat, but for me, support, that's where you talk about football, you talk about it as a sport, and unlike a lot of other sports, it's one of those where your fans you're all together, you're segregated. Like you look at rugby, you look at like the American sports and stuff like that. Home and away fans are mixed. You don't get that, here. You couldn't dream of that here, right? Just home and away fans at a football game being mixed. That'd be unheard of, right? So you're all there, so you can build your own atmosphere. Now, what happens is in these games, and we know that they're humans that are officiating. You look at the level that we're playing at, there's mistakes that are going to be made. People are humans. There's pressure that you can apply as a 12th man, as someone in the in the stand. Like what it'd be different if it's just always quiet. But see when like I don't know, say the keeper's holding the board for too long, or someone's down on the ground or whatever, we'll get involved with a boo or something like that. But see when we're trying to chase something or it's tight or whatever, we won't like kind of back the team and kind of just sing a nice little Ipswich chant or something. And that's that's what I feel the difference. Like a supporter it can become the 12th man. So that 12th man that you see in football, that's where the supporter comes in. And I don't think we have that. And I don't think there's an argument to be made that the fan base wouldn't be as big in terms of backing with numbers if it wasn't, where it's geographically located in terms of there's no other football teams, is there? Right. Who else is there in East Anglia? There's actually no other football teams in East Anglia.
Wow. None that we're worth mentioning. No, you're absolutely right. There's Colchester, I guess.
Are they Essex?
I mean, it's East Anglia still, isn't it?
I don't know. Yeah, it's all like weird. It's just all like Londony to me.
Says the Midlands boy.
It's just
All
all
right.
like
Before we
Londony.
went live, I tasked you with a question. I want to know if you got the answer to it yet. I asked you
What was the question?
what exactly. You're allowed to make one change to the rules and
Oh
laws
yeah.
of football. What are you changing? I've got mine just from hearing you talk there. But what are you changing? What you're allowed to make one change to the rule and laws of football. What are you changing?
It's more about the. So for me, just seeing it, what we've seen in League One as well,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest bullshit. Like aside from the 6 second rule with the goalkeeper, which I don't know whatever happened to that. I think we all misheard. I think it's 60 seconds, right?
Well, that's my rule.
Uh,
That's my rule change.
well, I'll let you talk on that. So we've got a similar theme here. So mine is about the time wasting, right?
Yeah.
So what I would like to see almost is a for fouls. So not for if the ball's in and out for a throw in and goal kick and stuff, but maybe for a goal kick, but almost a in play and out play. So when the ball's out of play, the clock is stopped, right? So then actually, instead of Oxford United spending 8-9 minutes on the floor and you getting sort of 2-3 minutes of injury time, you've actually got those extra, what you've missed, if you like, because that's what the injury time's there for, right? Plus
Mm-hmm.
that's when you look at the substitutions. You got 5 substitutions between each team. That's 10 substitutions. Each one's about 30 seconds, and then at the end of a game, you might have like 8 substitutions made and 2 minutes of injury time.
Correct.
So how
Yeah.
the fuck does that happen? Excuse my French.
No,
So
you're right. Absolutely.
that's my kind of gripe, but that's just that's where I'd be at. Aside from like the obvious like VAR across all of it or whatever like that, But
Would you
yeah,
put it across all of it or just ditch it altogether?
well VAR,
Yeah.
I'll get rid of it. What's the point? Like VAR was meant to bring in to stop controversies, but it brings in controversy, so just give it back to the referee.
Absolutely.
Has VAR made sorry,
Football
have
better.
referee has it made better? No,
No.
it's the same mistakes. There's still offsides given incorrectly. There's still things happening there. Things happening in the Premier League are happening to us in League One without VAR. So
Yeah. Yeah. Good point.
it's just spending how many other millions on it. You know what I mean?
Good point. Got a couple of comments coming in regards to the offside. We've got no offside rule, says AD Croucher for his rule change. I like that. Clamp down the goalkeeper
Did he
rules.
like
Says
Gary
Stephen
Lineker?
Parry.
Was he a
He
Gary
must have done.
Lineker fan?
He must have done. Mike Dear, players withdrawn every 3 minutes in extra time. Ends up rush keeper versus rush keeper. I
I
like
like that idea.
I like that idea a lot. Retrospective bans for diving and shit hours in, says Norman Greenwald. Yeah, I like Mike D's idea. I think he's on something there. That's quite a good little one.
Do you know what that reminds me of a little bit? Do you remember when the MLS first launched? Like in
With
the
the,
mid-90s?
with the penalty shootout? Yeah, mate. I'd be all over that rule. I'd love to bring that one here. That's a great little one. You could run up from the halfway line.
That was a good rule.
Yeah, I like that. VR in the bin, says Josh.
That's more 50-50.
Yeah, big time. I love it. I like when it's also more exciting to watch as well, I think.
Yeah.
And you never know, Connor Chaplin might have more of a chance of fucking sticking it in the net. My rule would be the 6-second rule, which I don't know if it's still a rule or if it was ever a proper rule, but it certainly was spoken about and brought in, or I remember it, and that's the case. But I would make it 3 seconds. Keeper can have the ball in the hand for 3 seconds. Let's not fuck about. They can kick it out, they can throw it out, they can roll it out. Let's not fuck about.
Does it matter if they say 3 seconds or 6 seconds because it's not enforced?
3 seconds, or the ball electrocutes them. So you fucking drop it.
There's got to be a magnet in the ball, like a very light magnet, so obviously it's not too heavy, so players can still head it and shit, right?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
And the gloves have got to be like magnetic as well.
Yeah.
So it drops automatically.
Yeah.
That's where they could take the money that they're spending on VAR. They could take that and invest that in that technology. Exactly. Fucking hell, we've sorted football. We fixed
like
football.
the old magic trick. You shake someone's hand, you get a little. We're not doing anything here. Just literally 3 seconds or a big siren over the tannoy, and you've got no option then because it just plays until the referee tells to drop the ball. Believe me, he'd be wanting to drop it really quickly. That'd be my because it annoys the fucking piss out of me when the bloke stood there for 12-40 seconds. Oh, so come on! Even if my own goalkeeper, just come on.
Was it Cambridge? I think it was Cambridge. Or was it Bristol? No, it was Cambridge. And they were chasing it, and the keeper, I swear, he held it on for a good minute. And I'm just like, how the fuck has the keeper got the ball in his hand for a minute?
Yeah. Golden goal, says Mike Baker. I can't like golden goal in years. What a rule that
They do
was.
silver goal, don't they?
Oh,
Which
they
is
do,
weird.
yeah.
Do you remember when they brought that in? I don't know if is that still a thing? I think they used to do it in the Euros.
Yeah, silver. Just
Like
next
play
goal
till half
wins.
time.
Literally, it's 4-0 like last Saturday. Next goal wins.
We'd be
Like
fucked
it.
this season. We'd be fucked this season.
We really would. We really would. All right, so let's go into February then. Let's have a little bit of a breakdown of February. I've asked Caddy for his player of the month, his highest point of the month, his lowest point of the month, and his overall grade for Feb before asking him how many points he thinks Town will take in March. Now, let's start with the low point of February. What was the low point of February for you, King Caddy Bisler?
I think it's kind of obvious. So the aftermath, if you like, the after scenes after the Bristol game. You know, a few little dickheads shouting abuse at Sammy. I thought, fucking idiots. Like, you want to go and have your rant on Twitter or whatever, then fine. But you don't want to shout abuse when people are there fighting for your fucking club as well. So don't be a fucking twat, because you're the same twat that will be there begging for a fucking autograph or something like that. Or love one of these fucking, limited shirts or whatever. What can you do? But, that was the low point.
Not
because
quite the low point I had in mind, but fair play.
No, well, we just got a bit nasty because it's like we got nasty last season and it got very toxic. And our fan bases can be very toxic. We know that, right? We love arguing when we win, right? So you just have to, just if you're bored, I do it for shits and giggles sometimes. If I'm bored, I just go on Twitter over the weekend and just type something and hashtag ITFC. Right, and if you just look at the hashtag ITFC, you'll see people are just falling out with people for dumb shit, right? Even though we've won or whatever. Like at the moment, so correct me if I'm wrong. We won at Milton Keynes Dons, right?
1-0.
So we've won back to back. So we're in a good place. We should be a bit happy. Wes Burns having a bit of fun doing some Twitch on Call of Duty. I play COD, so I jumped on that stream. I was like, okay. By the way, Wes Burns can play COD. He's a pretty decent little player. But then you got dickheads jumping on his Twitch, like Ipswich fans, like cussing him out, saying, "Oh, you need to practice your finishing. You need to do that. You're shit. Get benched. Blah blah blah." It's like, bro, if you don't like the guy, don't tap into his stream. Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, we know that from here. Don't we? To be fair,
well,
don't we, Callie? I mean,
yeah, and it's like, look, there's lots of people that have comments, and there's lots of people in this chat, as an example, that don't like certain players. But I haven't seen any of these people on Twitter go and tag these players, right? And you're getting people tagging it on their posts. You're critical of players. You're critical. It's fine. But when you're tagging players, you're just sending abuse, man. It's just dumb. So that's why it was a bit of a low point for me, because I thought it's getting a bit toxic. We're actually in a good place. We're third. Last year we were 11th. Like, if this season falls apart, the worst that happens is we finish in the top 6. We'd have bit your hand off for it last season. Okay. So depending on how all that works and the form, the dream of going up is still not over until the last game of the season. That's the reality, right? We're still within it in fighting chance. So I didn't like the toxic thing, but fair play to Sammy. Come back and answer his critics.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's a great way. You say we're in a good place, and actually, we're 6 unbeaten in the league. Not last defeat was Oxford, 3 wins, 3 draws. If those 1 or 2 of those draws obviously have been converted to wins, they weren't. But if they were, even better place. And I disagree. We're not in the worst position we've ever been in, and certainly on a good. Hopefully, the embarking of a good little run. My low point. Well, I'm going to go 0-0 Bristol Rovers away, despite the fact that I didn't actually see a single minute of it. So for me, it could be a really high point. I missed that. Or 1-1 at the start of the month against Cambridge, because both of those results really hurt us. They really hurt us. You convert one of those or both of those into the 6 points, you're in a great place. I'll probably, because I didn't see Bristol Rovers, so I can't comment on it too much. I'll go with Cambridge away, start of the month, 1-1. No, we didn't play well. Let's be honest. Again, another game where you start poorly, half time, second half marginally better, but that's only from memory because it was so bad it couldn't go any worse unless, it just couldn't go any worse. We're already losing, so what? That's my low point. I think probably 1-1 away at Cambridge. Just another result at Cambridge doesn't really help us, but there we go. High point. Now this might be an interesting one. I'm not quite sure we'll have the same high point. We might do. I don't know. What's your high point?
What did I put? I can't remember.
I don't know. I've not looked at the message. I was too busy in Tesco, actually, get some paracetamol.
Hold on. Right, where's your message? There it is. Right, okay. So, yeah, so my high point was the game on the weekend.
Yeah, well, MK.
And yeah, not just for, yeah, Sammy scored and answered the critics and done all that. Not that you need to answer any critics, there was only a few melons. And I thought he put out a good, genuine message. You know, it was
Yeah,
all genuine. It was him. There was nothing from the club to say you need to do this or whatever. It was him saying, okay, shit, there's a few people. Like the first thing he said after the game, Bristol, was like, shit, did it look bad? Because like I was just arguing with one fan, and I was saying, yeah, because you could see it, and if you look, he goes over, he's clapping everyone. Then he, after he's like, not even like arguing, he's there saying, because this one guy's there saying, you're just there for the money, you're a money grabbing cunt, or excuse my French, money grabbing this, that, and the other. And you know, all you and you guys need to F off, blah blah blah, you're killing our club, blah blah blah. And they're saying, look, we're fighting, don't we? You know, a lot of football to play. But he's still applauding the fans. So like, for me, then, so he's done the genuine message. MK done. So that part aside, yes, for Sammy. But then as the team and as us, it's the back-to-back wins. It's the away win. It's the Plymouth have dropped points. It's the we are now picking up points finally, because Plymouth and Sheffield have dropped points throughout the season. It's just the problem is we dropped them at the same point at the same time.
yeah,
So now it's just like, actually we're actually getting to a point where we're closing the gap. 2 weeks ago it was 10 points. Today it's 5 points. Who's to say by Sunday it's not 2 points? You know,
yeah,
between top
yeah.
two. So
No, yeah, absolutely. And it's only it looks a whole lot better, doesn't it? You know, you're absolutely right with that. High point for 80 was 7,000 town as an MK. Made him proud to be a town fan. The first foot, the first 4 minutes at home to Wednesday was pretty low, says Mike D. Rob Holmes, low point was Oxford away. Paid for local in the
that was
second half.
last month though, wasn't it?
That was January. Yeah, that just
Yeah.
creeped in at January.
That was mine as well, because I couldn't fucking see what was going on.
Didn't see that game.
Yeah.
I was
No,
busy.
neither did anyone else.
No, but I was in hospital, so literally.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you were busy.
Day my daughter
You
was
were
taken
busy.
in. Literally, I was
Yeah,
busy.
shit.
I wanted town to fucking like just compound the misery, town. Just fucking compound the misery. Cheers. One day when I'm begging you to do something, begging you. Fucking.
Well, that's
Anyway.
it's that rule that the referee told us that doesn't exist that got us.
Well, quite. And don't forget, you can become a Talking Town fifth down today. Join the chat on Discord 24/7. Haven't been on in a while. Must log in. Do apologise. But sign yourself up via YouTube. Hit the join button, or head to Ko-fi and hit the link, and you can set the payment and you can cancel at any point. David thinks my son's looking forward to it a lot more than me. Oh, yes, because David's coming down for the Burton game. Looking forward to meeting you, David. Really, really am. My high point of February. I'm seeing quite a lot of highs and lows of the season. Not quite at that point in the campaign yet, ladies and gents. But my high point is actually the Sheffield Wednesday game, 2-2 at home. That's my high point. Why is it my high point? Because we were 2-0 down, 2-1 down at halftime, dead and buried. We could have been well and truly gone out of any race, and possibly top 6 position. We were so bad. It was Chris Hutchins' caretaker game all over again. It really was at one point. It could have gone for 3 to 4 to 5. I don't know where, if we'd gone 3 or 3 down, I don't know where it would have ended. Honestly, it was terrible, absolutely atrocious. But they picked themselves up. They got themselves back in the game via a piece of real individual quality, of course. But collectively as a team, they got themselves back into the game, back to 2-2. And then, unlike Ipswich Town of previous years or even this campaign, they didn't fucking capitulate. They held it. They looked like the team in ascendancy towards the end of the game. And another 10 or 15 minutes, looking back, maybe I'm thinking a bit differently. I think we would have won that game. I don't know. But
no, you're right.
If Charlton was a moment we all look at and say, that's the house of cards falling down moment, this is the day we put the card back on the table and we said, right, let's build it back up. And I do see that as a real high point in the month. That's mine. Because I think it showed a real character and a real desire and a real gut it out when the back was against the wall. And I hadn't seen that yet from this group of players. So it was a really pleasing point for me. Don't get me wrong. We needed 3 points, but...
Yeah, but like you said, we needed 3 points, but it's 2-0 down in the first half. You're like, fuck. Where, like you said, everyone was in the same thing that we don't know where this could end up. And it's them. It's not just them, the realization they're getting away, but we still need to get points on the board. So we don't know. Is that could be a vital point end of the season,
Yeah.
because it is the draws that we're getting, but you know we're not losing a lot, which you know, like you said, if we'd have gone another 10, 15 minutes, we certainly looked like the team that was on the up.
I do believe that.
So
Yeah, for real. And but hey, you buy players for
it was a
pieces of
free
quality,
kick, weren't it?
but that's why you buy them. That's why they cost the money. That's
But
why
free
we've
kick
always.
aside, I think obviously he was quiet. I think a little bit against MK Dons. But
Well, he was quiet until he shouldn't have been, and then I think he's still travelling it. Guion Edwards-esque. See you later, mate.
he channeled his inner Gwyn.
Fuck's sake. What a finish! I mean, if Wednesday was his piece of quality that you paid the money for, that was. Come on, lad. Just
yeah, that was just that was a.
It was a bad pitch, Callie. I blame the pitch, not him. Lost his footing. Beckham-esque in the World Cup. Look down at the penalty spot.
I can't say anything. I don't know what to say on that. There is no defense on that. I'm sure he knows. But like he looks a quality player. He does look like he's a ball carrier. He wants to link up. He wants to drive at players. Very much like Harness. Like Harness is similar, but and it's no disrespect to him, but I think he's gone off the boil slightly. So he started the season really well. I think since he's had his injury, he's not really been the same. So you know he's not really been as sharp, and you know I don't know when's the last time he scored or whatever or got an assist. Maybe Exeter, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, we obviously had that injury around the Christmas period as well. So
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
so I don't think he's been the same since that. Whereas Broadhead, he gets that. He's direct, and you know some of the play you've seen against him. The brief thing we could see at Oxford when he come off the bench, you know, from what I thought was him, it could have been someone else, right in the fog or whatever. But he looked, you know, very good. So
yeah, I agree. And not a bad little 1-2 punch either. Broadhead and Harness and Broadhead. You know, that's a nice little.
And yeah, it's just you know we've got the right players now, and like Chaplin's there. Like when Chaplin first joined, I was quite critical of him. I thought he was going for a bit of purple patch, but you know he's shown he is a good player. But he's key as well. Like if he falls off, we just don't seem to. You know, if he's not firing, then we ain't really gonna score. That's how it seems sometimes. So hopefully, you know, with Broadhead and Hurst coming in, you know, it eases the pressure a little.
Talking of Hurst, Paul Hurst into the FA Cup quarterfinals with Grimsby. There we go. Congratulations.
Who did they beat?
Southampton, but then again, I think Southampton's on 23s could probably beat Southampton's main team at the moment. Let's be fair. Not doing the best, are they? The poor Saints, no. Right? We'll do Player of the Month in a second. Let's give February a rating first of all, from A to F. F being complete failure, A being or A plus being absolutely brilliant. You have 15 points available. Town took 9. Lewis, before we get to your rating, says don't underestimate the 3 clean sheets in a row. Cutting out the individual errors will breed confidence for the run-in. Walton made some decent stops too. You did something on Saturday and much improved and needs to be acknowledged. And it certainly is because you're acknowledging it now, Lewis. We love that. Appreciate it. Great comment. Parry says B. He goes early. Callie, while the rest of the chat get involved, what's your rating?
If you'd asked me before Forest Green, I would have said a C. Okay. Right, but now I'm like a B minus C plus. I think the upturn on it, Lewis touched on it there about we're going back to clean sheets as well. You said it earlier now as well. We're you know throughout the whole month we're undefeated bar a FA Cup game at Burnley where we actually went toe to toe with Premiership bound team. So it's been good performances there. We're hitting it now. It seems to be the upturn towards the end of the month. The key is now for us is how does our March look like? How does the next month? We just got to keep next game win it, next game win it, next game win it. There's no reason we can't. I know it sounds unrealistic because you've got 3 big away games coming up, this month. But there's no reason saying that we can't go on undefeated for the rest of the season. You know, we can do that. Well, there's no reason. Like we've got 4 losses. You know. Teams that play, as we've seen this season, teams that want to play football with us, that's where we play our best football. Your Derbys, your Barnsleys, your Boltons will play football. They're going to be some good games. We can win those. Don't underestimate that. I think the ones that we're going to struggle against, I think the dark horses, because I tipped us to have about. I went undefeated, but I didn't say we'd win them all, and I've tipped us to draw against Shrewsbury as well. At home, just because they're a dark horse. They're doing a little promotion charge, so you never know.
They are. Okay, I feel a bit bit pessimistic now because I've said
You've gone
C.
D. Oh, C.
No, I've gone
No, that's
C.
fair. That's fair though, isn't it? Like if you look at the points tally, 9 out of
9
15.
taken, 9 out of 15. You had a home draw, and that's the high point because of the character it showed. You still had to win it. You didn't, but there's reasons why it was a good high point for me, as I've already gone into. But you still drew at home to Wednesday. But that's probably the best draw out of the whole lot of them. Cambridge away, Bristol Rovers away. Yeah,
Cambridge,
you only 2 wins. I mean, MK Dons and Forest Green. And if I said to you in a month, any month, at any point of the year, you got to beat MK Dons and Forest Green, you'd have said, of course you're fucking going to beat them too. So, ain't nothing special.
I wouldn't have said MK Dons. I wasn't 100%.
Maybe not in August, but you certainly would have done last month, or you should have done last week. Come on, Callie.
Not after Bristol. Not after Bristol. Teams that park the bus. Another player told me before that Ipswich, if you can weather the first 20, 30 minutes and park the bus, you can do that, and you've got a good attacking game. You can punish Ipswich, and that's where. And you've seen that on the counter, we are vulnerable. Look at the chance. 5 shots. I've read somewhere 5 shots on target for MK Dons, and 4 of them were in that one chance.
True.
And you look at that. That was, those are the things that's the shit that worries me is if we were scoring 4 or 5 goals every game, and there's no reason we can't because we do create the opportunities. We're just not finding the back of the net yet. So hopefully that's now the upturn in form what we find, through March. But those mistakes are still there. Like that kind of lackluster in our defence is still there. It doesn't matter the personnel, it just seems to happen. So it's just like how many times Wickham, you saw Oxford, same goal, rinse and repeat. People just running through our team, unchallenged. How Milton Keynes didn't score, I will never know.
No, I don't know how Lecker didn't score now. It's out here. I don't know how he didn't.
I'm convinced, because I'm sure Lecker used to play for West Brom, and I'm convinced he must be Ashton's boy or something, mate. He's a good friend or something.
He just wanted to place it instead of smash it. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to place it and not smash it. Right. March. There are 15 points available.
What have we got the fixtures? Let's pull them up.
I will tell you the fixtures right this minute. We have got, obviously, Burton Albion up first, home. Accrington Stanley, home. Bolton, away. Shrewsbury, home. Barnsley, away. How many points do you think we will be taking from the month of March?
Is my math in? I'm saying 11, so I'm saying 3 on the weekend.
3 wins and 2 draws.
Yeah, so we beat Burton. We beat Aki. We draw with Bolton. We draw with Shrewsbury, and we beat Barnsley.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. I've got 11, but I don't think it'll be enough. I think it has to be more than 11. I think it has to be. I think it does. I don't know. I think we're playing catch up. I think we're going to beat Burton and Accrington, and I think we're going to beat Shrewsbury. They're the 3 home games. I've got 2 draws, Bolton and Barnsley. But for me and my money, you have to turn one of those into 3 points. You have to go unbeaten through this month, and you have to win 4 games. That's what I'm going to say. That's me and my money.
We might do the Bolton game then. We might win the Bolton game because, like I said, they'll play football. They'll play into our hands.
And they might be tired, as someone said in the chat a second ago. They could possibly.
Papa John's, isn't they?
Yeah, I think they have. Yeah, played last night as well. I just think you've got to get, 4 wins and a draw to call it a good month, and just then to see. I mean, of course, as you go through the month, the Plymouth drop a couple. You might not need that in the end, but sat here as things stand, 5 points. I do think you have to turn one of those draws because you didn't beat Cambridge or didn't beat Bristol or go further back in the campaign, didn't beat Lincoln or didn't take more than a point off Lincoln or whatever. I think you got to, because this is now the point, right, Callie, where the games you didn't bank the points to nick a weakest link term, you have to take them off somewhere else, and you can look at a team and go, "Oh, that's quite hard." Well, yeah, tough shit. You put yourself in this position, go and dig yourself out.
But then maybe that's what we're doing at the moment. So, like I said, we've cut down the deficit from 10 points to 5 points in a week. Right now, I know the Bristol game was really bad, but we could have lost. We could have conceded. That was a clean sheet. That was a clean sheet. That was the start of the clean sheet run, wasn't it? Right. So that was a clean sheet there, and Walton did make a good save. A couple of good saves, I think, from that Aaron Collins. So there that you could say, okay, we picked up the point there. Plymouth dropped points. Then we got the Forest Greens, picked up the points. Plymouth dropped points. Then we got Milton Keynes. We've picked up the points. Plymouth dropped points. we just carry on doing our thing. Plymouth are going to fall away, maybe. Who knows? But even if they don't, this is the thing. We're too focused on the table. It's all out of our hands. We know that right now. All we can do is just back the team and just hope that the team can deliver each week and just go and win. Now, as long as we win and we put in a good shift and we got a good form, say for instance the worst happens and we fall short and we're in the top 6. If we've got form, and remember everyone else in that top 6 are teams that are going to play football. Teams that if I was a betting man, I would bet on us to beat, right? When it comes down to it. When it comes down to it, pressure moments, all the rest of it, I'm confident this group of lads have learnt a lot over this season and maybe last or whatever. I'm confident that, we can go toe to toe. And we always talk about on our day. If it come down to that, I think on our day we would win the playoffs. We would go up at Wembley, right? But it's about having that form now. And I think now we found that upturning form. I don't think we'll lose now for the rest of the season. Our next loss, you can clip it up, our next loss will happen when we play in the Championship next season. Right, around November.
Big words. I mean, why not? Big words.
I just got a feeling like there's these little things because we want to you want to see instant, like it's got, we all want to see 100%, like, or 100% return, win. But don't underestimate those draws, those clean sheets, those little things that psychologically, the back-to-back wins, the away win, playing in front of the big crowds, all these little things that we've done over the season, playing on Sky and shit like that. These are the things that probably play on their minds. Do you know what I mean? So let's see, man. I've just got to have faith. I'll be there each Saturday, singing, backing the team, supporting. Let's just see where we're at. We may go another season without going to Wembley because we may go top 2.
I don't know what's more bold. What you just said
how
the
many more
first
games are
time
left?
or the second time?
How many more games are left?
13, I think. 13, 14.
13. So what's that? 39 points. Is that right?
There's certainly enough points. I think it's 14 games left. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Yeah, 13.
Yeah, so 39 points, 5, and the gap's 5.
I can't wait for the season to finish.
And we'll beat Barnsley.
I'm not even playing the games. I'm knackered.
So if you look, a lot of these teams have hit their kind of peaks and their kind of form runs at the same time, which is why it's feeling a bit kind of claustrophobic for us around that kind of top 2, top 6 area. People are picking up the wins and stuff, and we're slumping. We haven't been great, and we're still up there.
True.
We haven't been great since October. We're still we're on 1st of March. We're still talking about top 2 is realistic. I'm the most kind of optimistic fan. I get that to a point, but I'm very optimistic. But I'll say, obviously we're not going to go up as champions unless Wednesday start losing every game. Something really bad happens and they sack Darren Moore. Do you know what I mean? Did you hear though? Darren Moore was wearing a Sheffield United top. He said he loves Sheffield United. Like if I was on a Sheffield podcast or Sheffield Wednesday people, I'd report to the club and get him gone ASAP.
I'd be fuming. I'd be fuming. Definitely. I've heard that rumor.
Darren Moore's a Sheffield United fan.
20 games unbeaten, club record. I mean, they put it. Yeah,
he's done well. He's done well. He's done well for them. You know,
what the Giants as weren't they? Fucking big old boys up there. Do you know what I mean?
But he, if you think about when he used to play at West Brom, he was scoring from set pieces. He was good in the air.
That's what really surprised me that game though. That literally how much more of a bigger unit their players are. No. We are finesse, and if to their, mauler, I guess it was. Like if you were talking about wrestling earlier, Brett the Hitman Hart, technical wrestler.
Yeah.
Wednesday more like like the Great Khali or Kane or the Undertaker. Just maul you. No disrespect. That it gets the job done. They're sitting top of the table, and I'm sure they've got with Barry Bandon some absolute finesse players in there. But the difference in the size was like wow.
But that's where I think your Kamaras and your Balls will come in as that profile of kind of bigger players to get aerial presence. We do score a lot from set pieces, but not actually direct. I think we've got a few direct from corners. If you like, it's been a little move here, there, and everywhere, or cut it back or something like that. So
Sean Gladden is highlighting just how great Talking Town is because last week the manager was out. This week we're in the league. Well, Callie says we're in the league. I'm sure Matt Fitch would still say different. But that's the beauty of Talking Town. It's different voices, different opinions. What we're all about here, right? Your player of the month for February, then, before we move on to Burton and your 1 to 11 and your score prediction for Burton. Who is your player of the month for February?
I think there were 3 people that could have got it. So I think Davis was up there. I think he's been very consistent. I've been critical of him before. I think he's become a really good footballer now. I think obviously Broadhead's done well. Without actually kind of hitting top gear, you can see he's a good player. He kind of ignited the comeback at Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's been periods in games where his link-up play just looks on a different level. He looks that good player. And of course, Sammy, especially the way, Forest Green and this, the response after what's happened, kind of leading the team, leading by example. And just because of the goal, I'm going to give it to good old Sammy Morsey, man of the month.
For your player of the month of February?
I'm giving it for him, yeah. Especially the shit he had to deal with, you know what I mean? There was idiots as well after, and he come back, and now you look at what the club was like 2 weeks ago, you look at what it's like now in terms of the fan base and the feeling's a lot different. And he was at the centre of all that shit.
Yeah, fair. All right, your player of the month.
I'm giving it to Sammy.
You can have Richard Keogh if you wanted it. I mean, it's your player of the month, mate.
They don't have to play a game in the month.
I think he did, didn't he? Far too many minutes than I would.
Cambridge, yeah.
Yeah, far. Yeah, he played at least one, which is one more than I would have given him.
Slabhead, but yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, still better than me, obviously, but there we go. All right, my player. You've left it wide open here because I could go either of my two choices that I've written down, but I'm going to go.
Who were your 2 choices?
Well, one was
your second choice.
Well, one was Broadhead, who I'm not going to give it to.
Okay.
But he had a good month. No, not the Fredster.
He's up there as well.
He should be up there. You're right.
I should. He should be up there. He should
unsung
be
hero of the season, I reckon. He's some people have either written him off or forgotten about him, but he's just there, plugging away, scoring goals, just doing his job.
Good. He looks fine.
Absolutely.
Freddie Dapple's on my mind.
And he must be a Stone lad. I'm sure I saw him in the doctor's surgery in Stone. So he must be, living locally to. So he must be a really intelligent guy to live where I live.
To live in Stone Market.
Absolutely, because only the best get in. They do. It's true. I'm going to go for Connor Chaplin because he's my favourite player, and any chance I get to speak about Connor Chaplin, I'm a happy boy. Simple as that. He's our talisman. When he plays, we play. When he scores, we score. When he wins the game, we win the game. Any sort of common sense sentence you want to put together, you can. But he is our talisman. Without him, I don't know where we would be. And that's having Big Fred in mind as well. Without Connor Chaplin making it all go for me, I think we're a much worse side. And Connor Chaplin does it for me. Oh, there you go.
I think that's fair. No, I think that's fair.
He bought Lewis's nan's house. Look, big up Lewis's nan for selling the house to Freddie Ladapo. Love it.
Okay.
Big up.
There you go. Stoke.
There you go.
Well, I know his family's from down there, isn't it? So from down like East.
So I was in the doctor's surgery one week and I looked up, and I thought, that's Freddie fucking Ladapo. Obviously, being the Gov, I didn't.
Yeah.
I said to him, "Big Fred, I know you just spotted the Gov.
Actually, you know what? When I saw him after, when I saw him after one of the game, he come up to me and goes, "Does Gov live around here?"
He knows he did because he spoke to me. He said, "Gov, I'm so pleased to meet you. Can I get an autograph?" And I was
he said he wanted to get a selfie, but he was just a bit embarrassed.
Yeah, I got that about him. I picked that
vibe
up.
Shy guy.
But no, I looked up and I was like, "That's Fred fucking Ladapo."
Fred Ladapo.
And I thought about saying, "Hey, Fred." Other people not saying names probably would have done. I was like, he's in the doctor's surgery, to be fair. Like, just let him go. Because no one else has noticed it's Freddie Ladapo, so let's just let him go about his business without,
Well, no, they probably have. They've just done the same thing you did.
Maybe.
It's just like, Fred, they're running that thought process through their whole mind. Meanwhile, in through the front door is Cruncher. You all right, mate? Can I get a selfie? Yeah. Sorry, Cruncher.
Love it. Right, Burton, this weekend. Any changes to the lineup from Saturday, or are you one of the fans that say, look, consistent lineup's what we need right now, so same 11 starts again?
I'm kind of split because I do agree we do need a consistent 11, but there are still weaknesses in the team. I think the back four would go unchanged. It's one of those like I would have if it's one of the times where we could afford to make changes, then I would have now we're playing back four more and more. I would have liked to have seen Fridge and Wolf given a run of games. I just think Fridge in a back four that's where his best football come for us. That's where his best football is the back four. And I think that would kind of suit us. But keep it as it is. The Humphreys Luongo thing, like for me, I think Luongo's still getting to match sharpness, but I think Luongo and Morsey are probably the better pairing. But at the moment, I don't think he's ready, so you'd have to start Humphreys. And then I thought it's unfair to kind of drop Ladapo, so I'd have started him over Hurst. But I've got a feeling it'll be Hurst again and Humphreys again. But I'd probably, if it was down to me and Luongo was match fit, then it would be Luongo and Ladapo coming in.
Okay. And you,
For it.
but why would you be bringing Luongo in? I hear people tell me, and Humphreys has done nothing wrong.
No, you're right. Humphreys hasn't done nothing wrong, but it's just it's part of his development. He's just not there yet in terms of the other parts of the game. So can Humphreys find a pass from 60 yards? Absolutely. Has he got a great strike on him? Absolutely. Right. He's very intelligent footballer, technically very gifted. Right. Is he a bit nasty? Right. Can he get a bit nasty and a bit gritty in the tackling? Does he know when to do the simple things and just hold the little passes and the little 1-2 with your centre backs, those little triangles, boring shit that you have to do, the Cole Scouse shit that you have to do sometimes in a game, right? He's got to learn that, and he's not done that. And unfortunately, at the moment, I don't think we're ready. Well, it's the Cole Scouse stuff, right? I don't think we're at a position where we can kind of just experiment. But which is on the same flip side why I'm saying we can't start Luongo at the moment because you are getting rid of that. Now, in fairness to Humphreys, I thought Milton Keynes he looked a bit better in terms of getting his game. He wasn't that great in terms of the game. I thought he had a quiet game, right? But I thought in terms of doing that kind of nasty thing and getting the tackles in, I thought he was putting himself about the pitch well. So I thought he's doing that. But I just feel Luongo, it's natural. He's naturally going to do that. He is a really good footballer as well, technically. No, he's probably not going to, he's not going to find the same passing and the same shots that Humphreys will. But when he sits, Morsey goes forward a little more. And when he's driving forward, he encourages a bit more play as well. So, I don't know. I think with Humphreys, it kind of, Sam still sits a bit more. So we seem a bit more, we invite, we're not running at them, we're not getting at them. And teams like Burton and your Accringtons, they're not going to come play football. They're going to park the bus for 90 minutes. So you need that.
You probably think so, yeah, for sure.
But we'll see.
I wasn't agreeing with the Scouse comparison either.
No, what I was saying is that shit that Scouse does. Don't underestimate the role Cole Scouse did. Right, that boring. I'm serious. I know. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother show.
It really is. Norman Humphreys, if for the future he gets knocked off the ball too easily. €5 from David. Big up, David. Love that. Appreciate that. Thanks ever so much, my friend. Dr. Staggering. Thanks to Luongo to get Morsey further forward, working for us earlier doors. Morsey great long up to number 10. Humphreys being so good, but this season has been surprising regarding the workload. Yeah, fair point.
Yeah,
all right. And obviously Ladapo, far more than I thought anyone probably thought he would.
And Ladapo for Hurst isn't necessarily a criticism on Hurst because I think Hurst link-up play is very good as well. And I said it when I come on Sunday, whilst him and Ladapo are similar, they also have different traits as well. You hear McKenna talk about these profiles, they've got that difference. So you have got, you can switch things up and make a change whilst keeping the same formation if you've got to or whatever. But I just think Ladapo's a man in form at the moment, so he's scoring goals. Put him on there. Whereas maybe Hurst is just trying to overdo something. I thought he's very unlucky not to score probably another contender for goal of the season the other week between him and Clark. But it'll come. He'll score, and then it will just flow from there.
Okay, fair. Yeah. I think you're right. Not a criticism of either player, Ladapo or Hurst or Ladapo. Big Fresh got the goals. in terms of, in the stat sheet for the season, but Hurst has played well over the last couple of weeks. Score predictions already coming in the chat. Love to see that. They're reading my mind before I even said the words. Love it. But as we round up tonight's show, I do want your score prediction. Before I get Callie's score prediction, I'd also like you to hit the subscribe button if you're brand new to us, or even if you're checking us out again, you think, you know what, I like the content. Subscribe, stick around, hit the like button on YouTube, helps the algorithm pick up the interaction. But let's have a score prediction from you, King, please.
So I'm going to go bold. I'm going to go 4-0.
4-0.
I think we're going to do another 4-0. We've done a few 4-0s this season. I think we'll do another one, and I think it'll be very similar to Forest Green. We'll get the job done in the first half. And we'll just make sure we keep that clean sheet, which again helps you build.
Absolutely. Okay, 4-0. And however much you're paying Norman to say, Callie, you talk a lot of sense, you need to probably double it, to be fair, because it's probably not enough.
He knows I'll sort him out. Just send your bank details, mate, no problem.
Good. Colin Plum, 4-0. 2-0 says Stephen Parry. 3-0 from the legend that is AD Croucher. 3-1 from Colin's gone 3-1 and then 4-0.
No, we're not going to concede.
Yeah, but he's changed his mind in the space of literally 9:38, Colin, 3-1. 9:39, 4-0. Give it till 9:40. He might be going. Who knows where it could go? But Colin
might be 6-1 Burton by 10 o'clock.
I hope I hope right in the book there was less indecisiveness within 60 seconds. Otherwise, he never would have got it finished. We're back on Friday, 8:30 with the Hard Truth boys. Oh, 9.99 coming flying in before we leave by Mike Baker. Love that, Mike. Appreciate that. Thank you ever so much, my man. 9.99 super sticker. Sean says bedtime. Great show, as always. Oh, start. Yep. Love you, Sean. Appreciate you. Look after yourself. Dream of promotion, because that is what is on the horizon if you listen to this man here.
5 points, 39 to play for. Back the team. And who knows, we can all be in the championship next season. We're going up. Just, one game at a time. Let's take one game at a time. And
there we go. Love that. Join us Friday for Keys to Victory. We'll talk about 1 to 11s again, see if anybody may have presented an injury or not. We'll get the latest, and we'll go through the press conference reaction from Kieran McKenna's press conference over the next couple of days. There'll be Prediction League. So join us Friday. He has been the King. I am the Gov. Thank you for watching. Thank you for Mike and David and everybody else that supports Talking Town with love, with care. Promotion incoming, according to this man here, anyway. You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down or when I get blue, I can't get enough. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. I woke up all soaked in sweat, chills running down my neck. I thought went crazy from just the thought of you.